We look forward to hearing from you.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and warm with an afternoon high near 92. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely, a low around 59. And tomorrow, showers continuing throughout the day. Will be breezy and cool with the high just 62. The meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in to the Dumb Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we are live on the brick and mortar. So if you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. As always, like I said, we got the morning Pierson-El. The host is always streaming in. And now we got a few things to talk about. Some things more pleasant than others. But the morning Pierson-El, before we get into it, how's it going on a really nice Monday? I think it got up to like 90 degrees today.
Not too bad at all. Allergies are not, too bad today. So I'll survive.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Allergies are undefeated against me. Year in, year out, allergies, they put in work. I every year fall victim to it. But speaking of victims, unfortunately, we'll start off with the bad. Did you catch Nebraska baseball?
Ouch.
Yeah, that one hurt a lot. Obviously, that was Sunday, and it started in the middle of my shift, so I wasn't able to hop on right at the beginning, and I was pretty, not upset because it is my job. I don't get to pick my hours like that, but, obviously you want to watch the start of it. I was happy I didn't. I actually made the right decision that my hours were where they were because that one it was ugly. It got uglier. DeMornay Pierson-El, kind of tell me what you saw. Obviously, I watched the highlights, but at the beginning of the game, I talked to DP. Just sounded like errors, too. It was more of just Nebraska was shooting themselves in the foot.
I mean, that's pretty much what it was. It's just you understood the assignment, and it just, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed type energy. Like it just, I don't know if it was opposite day. I don't know, just polar opposites. I don't know if the in their heads too much or just, the pressure of losing game two, losing two games. But, it got ugly and it got ugly fast.
Yeah, and it was just really tough. When you're in the first inning, bases are loaded, 0 outs, and your next batter's walking up with a 0-0 count. Like you just immediately do everything you can not to panic. And I felt like that's what was happening. I mean, just looking through the books, like the errors were happening early. I know they cleaned it up a little bit at the end there, and it was more of Oklahoma's bats were just hot and less of Nebraska making crucial errors that just ended up to being runs. I think we even walked batter, in that first inning as well to get those bases loaded right off the bat. So, yeah, it was just an unfortunate day. We're right at, that first inning, you got bases loaded and no outs.
It's like already, it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, what are we doing?
And they couldn't figure it out, unfortunately. And you give credit to Oklahoma. Like, they were playing really great, but that's, you're going to get that when you get to regionals. Like, you're playing great teams, and if you start coughing up with your own errors, they're good enough to beat you without you doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start doing the errors on top of everything else, like I said, Nebraska, I think they actually only finished with 5 or maybe even 6 errors at the very end there. But a lot of it was just so early, and that's how it felt like the game got away so fast. So, yes, we are talking about it. I haven't said the score yet because I didn't want to, but it was a 17-1 routing from Oklahoma. I don't know. What would you compare a 17-1 in the baseball world and compare that to a football score? Like 52. Is that like Indiana? It's kind of like the comparison I can make of what we played Indiana this year.
Yeah, like Ohio State 63-3, like that.
You just felt helpless and you wanted to get off the screen.
The bleeding wasn't stopping. Like it just, if it was, every other pitch or every other inning, it was just like, it was something. Like, it was a steep hill to climb up, and it's like, when did you realize, like, okay, like we're not coming back from that? And it's like, I think that set in probably fairly early, and to where it was just like the hope was kind of gone, and it's just like now you just all right, like let's hurry up and get this over with.
It really was. And on the on the bright side of things, though, it wasn't Oklahoma's parade either. Yes, they beat Nebraska, they beat them pretty good, but then they go play North Carolina, and they get spanked.
See ya.
11-5, but they get another chance. So they go and they do play better the next time, 9-5, but then they get routed, 14-4. North Carolina moves on
They take home their own regional. Chapel Hill, North Carolina moves on. With that being said, though, let's count the Big Ten teams. One, we're done. One Big Ten team left, UCLA, as they broke through. You can count it, former Pac-12 school. And the SEC, they're so deep. Like, we have some games going on right now. I think Tennessee's fighting for their life they actually are. They're up now 8-4 over Wake Forest, but Tennessee was on the verge there a little bit as well. And their second, double elimination game. But right now we're sitting with it. Like I said, we'll start with the regional, where obviously North Carolina comes out of the Chapel Hill regional. Arizona makes it out of Eugene, Oregon. That's the other one of the Big Ten favorites to lose, hosting their own regional. You also had Coastal Carolina. Chippy one there with Florida. That whole drama I'm not entirely familiar with. Obviously, Coastal Carolina had some very strong words for the Florida coach, not appreciating how he was talking to the associate AD and the field crew. I have heard both sides on that one. I don't know the full story, so I don't want to comment on it. But if you guys are curious, Florida head coach, why should I say that? Coastal Carolina head coach, very strong words in their press conference. But they are moving on, and they are facing Auburn. Obviously, Auburn wins their regional. You're still waiting for Tennessee, like I said, between Tennessee and Wake Forest. Who's going to play Arkansas? West Virginia's waiting on Little Rock and LSU. Little Rock.
Did LSU lose that game last night?
Yeah, they did. We're going there next, right? Little Rock lost 7-0 in that first game versus the LSU. So obviously they have to bounce back. They beat Rhode Island 22 runs to 10.
Yeah.
They gave up 10 runs, but if you're going to put up 22 runs, you'll probably be all right. And that they were. So Little Rock moves on after putting up 22 on Rhode Island. And then they go ahead. Next game, they scrape by. They win it 8-6. So that's what gave them their rematch. And the bat stayed hot, 10 runs to 4 versus LSU. And they got another one today.
At 8.
Yep, PM Central.
Their LSU's pitching. They will definitely have to, display better. The game last night, I think I caught the beginning half of it, and I think I turned it off like right after it was 5-3.
Yeah,
and it just I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this anymore. But for them to do that, Little Rock, a little school. I know they had that one player on their roster. I mean, he had a homer and I think 3 runs.
I couldn't tell you exactly what it is, but he had the homer in there for sure.
He had a homer, and then his next, I want to say his next at bat or the one after that, if I'm not mistaken. I know he brought 2 runs in. So I mean, I was like, oh, that's not looking good for LSU. So they better watch out because Little Rock is hungry, and they've shown that they can play up to competition.
That's the beauty of it, is like when you do get to this every now and then, especially you go from game 1 and you kind of overlook Little Rock. Well, it's like, well, it's about what we thought they were, but then they put up 22 runs. You can just see like they are fueled off that confidence, and now the bats are just staying hot. And even when they go against some elite pitching, which they did in that rematch versus LSU, bats are still hot and they're not afraid anymore. And they did a really good job too, especially in that second game. Felt like after scoring 22 runs, you're worried about them chasing a lot on the plate when you're just that good. They pulled back a little bit and they scraped through. And then versus LSU, it looked like a more complete game from them. So it feels like they're playing in that perfect confidence level where they're not chasing things. They're respecting the pitcher, but they're not giving him too much respect either. So that's one to watch at later tonight, 8 p.m. And we'll start right when this show wraps up. You also waiting on right now, Ole Miss, Murray State. Murray State, another SEC team, ranked SEC team, might bite the dust here as it's the bottom of the 6th inning right now, 10-3.
Ooh,
they got to fade.
And Murray State is up.
Murray State is up.
Ooh,
Oxford Regional's been fun because Murray State robbed the first one versus ranked Ole Miss. Then they beat Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, really good team as well. They pushed them. Georgia Tech, obviously, when they drop Ole Miss, they have to face them. They lose a close one, 11-9. Georgia Tech bounced out. But then, like I said, Ole Miss, they get revenge, 8-19 versus Murray State, and now 10-3. I think college baseball might be harder to predict than March Madness at this point. I can't tell you who the favorites are. Yeah, I could circle conferences. I cannot circle teams.
That's a fair they're both equally hard and difficult because it's just you never know. But at least basketball, I mean, every now and then, the Cinderella stories out there and everything like that will happen. That's a fair statement to say. I'm with you there on that one.
Well, because like the thing that always blows my mind, we'll use our Little Rock as I think that's going to be a favorite underdog for obvious reasons. Just again, put up 22 runs. The one player, forgive me for not remembering his name, to have the day he had.
Ain't hell. That's all I know. I don't know the last name, but he's been a superstar. That's for sure.
Oh, we'll all know it, especially if they beat LSU tonight. Well, I say that much. But the beautiful thing about it is it's why it's so hard to predict is it's March Madness. It's single elimination. So like you can expect those things. But again, like these are double elimination regionals. And these teams just play. It's not, they just got hot that day or they were lucky. It's like, no, it's a double elimination. Like they're playing really good and they got to stay consistent throughout the tenure of that regional. Otherwise, they're not in. So there is you can't even call it like a quote unquote Cinderella the same because once they make it to super regionals, and especially if they make it to the College World Series, they've proven it over and over and over again that this team's legit and they're playing the best of the best. So that's where I'm at. I'm super excited for it. The only super regionals we have locked up, like I said, are Auburn, Coastal Carolina, UNC, Arizona, and we're UCLA and UTSA. We're still waiting on the rest. Do you feel good about UCLA's chances to represent the Big Ten in the College World Series? They got to make it out of the super regional.
Who's in their regional?
UTSA, University of
San Antonio.
Is that what it is? San Antonio?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got it right here. Yeah, University of San Antonio. And you don't want to think lightly of them because they did beat Texas 9-7 to break through. So you got another team. Again, you might not think of San Antonio baseball, but here they are as they beat Texas. Didn't even take 2 tries. They didn't get a single loss throughout that entire thing. They were perfect. They beat Kansas State 10-2. They beat Texas 9-7. And they said, we'll take them one more time. They beat Texas 7-4. So they're playing great baseball right now.
That's a hot team. But yeah, back to UCLA. Yes, it's a strong chance. I mean, again, at this point in time, like playing teams like that and everything like that, you just can't afford to, shoot yourself in the foot.
I don't feel good about it. That's scary. Again, this is the thing about baseball. Like, I don't know. I can't predict, but just go with the hot teams is usually what feels right. And the hot teams, until they cool off, like you feel pretty good about them. And that's where I'm at with schools like Little Rock, LSU. I do got University of San Antonio. We'll give them their proper name now over to UCLA. But for the fun one, and then we'll get off baseball. LSU tonight.
I'm taking LSU.
Okay.
I understand that the team is hot. LSU's pissed off. They're at home. It's backed into a corner. They are, one of these stronger teams that has been around for the last, I don't know how many years. They always have a strong baseball team. And I think you when you kind of piss somebody off, you better come back and be able, to handle a haymaker. So I think LSU gets it done tonight.
I do too. I want to pick the underdog really bad, and they've been really impressive throughout it. But again, it's being later at night. LSU, they were going to pack that place. I mean, they don't really care who it is at that point. They need that game to advance to the super regional. I'm going to be absolutely shocked if that place isn't just absolutely rocking. The only way I can see Little Rock doing it is, again, if they pull a Nebraska and the opposite way, where they come off hot and they take attack, and then you just got LSU sitting silent, and then it almost becomes awkward for the home team to get hosed like that in front of everybody when you're hosting your own regional. And again, we talk about the SEC and baseball all the time. There is a certain pride for those guys when it comes to representing the SEC in the College World Series. So they're going to do anything they can to keep Little Rock out of there. As there's been quite a few SEC teams I've been surprised to see fall. You also got USC and Oregon State. I did forget to mention USC, another Pac-12 school, still in the mix, and they are playing right now. And this is going to decide who plays Florida State. But it is 6-0, top the 7th inning. Oregon State leading it.
Oregon State's winning that one. I think they will be one of the teams that you'll see here in Omaha.
I think so as well. No, I mean, they were solid. I think they were top 10 even before heading into the regional. So you're kind of expecting that one. USC, the Big Ten baseball, until we went through it before. Like, you got to go way back in the day to find a Big Ten champion of the College World Series. Until somebody breaks through, I just have a hard time picking any Big Ten teams through it. That being said, got anything left on?
No.
All right, that's the baseball roundup right now. Just a lot of crazy scores. I mean, there've been 20-plus run games, and then they'll flip around the other way. We'll real quick dive into just Nebraska, though. Overall, we talked a little bit before, but now after the regionals result, where are we at with Will Bolt? Because, again, you got routed. We get to these regionals over and over, but we can never break through outside of, I'm blanking on the year. We broke through the 1 year. Obviously, Will Bolt wasn't the head coach at the time. Quick exit for us nonetheless. But we went through it. 170 wins, 126 losses. You got 3 Big Ten titles. After that Oklahoma game, did it change you at all on like how we feel about Will Bolt in this space?
No. I mean, Bo Pelini, hello. I mean, like, what, especially what he's done this year with the team, back-to-back Big Ten championships. You can, I mean, and it was, people didn't know like what to expect from the team, you know. So for him to, you can say whatever. Well, the season looked ugly, whatever. He still made it to the Big Ten tournament, still won a Big Ten championship. Yes, I understand, you know, once it gets to those types of rounds and everything like that. But I mean, he's consistently getting you there. He's consistently getting you to the level. Like, now it's required. It's more required to, you know, break into that threshold. Now you're talking about, you know, the levels of Vandy, the levels of Arkansas, the levels, you know, so that's not easy to do. That doesn't just come, you know, overnight. So I think at least with the consistency of it and continue to build, you know, with things and everything like that, like, I think that gives you its best shot rather than just turning the page and, you know, who wants to. I mean, let's be honest, you know, the Big Ten is not the premier league for baseball. Like, it's not.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's not like you're in the ACC or the SEC to where, you know, that's a pretty good lead. It's a good chance, you know, it's a good chances of things. And I'm not saying, you know, settle or anything like that. But okay, if you do move off of him, who are you going after to come and replace that? Like, you know, that's a tall order in itself. So I mean, and if that person comes in, can they even do what he's been able to do these last few years? Like, that's a little bit, you know, uncertainty. So are things satisfied and whatnot? No. Like, do you know, want things to be better and everything like that? Yes, absolutely. But for what he has been doing and whatnot, I mean, it could be a whole lot worse.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm trying to put it into words that doesn't disparage the Big Ten at all.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'll say it.
Yeah, you got to look in the mirror, DeMornay. And that's just kind of where the Big Ten's at in baseball. You know, I might want to go see, you know, if Beyonce wants to go date me. I got to look in the mirror sometimes. I can't go out there and grab that. I got to be realistic about who I can get as an opportunity. If you're in Nebraska baseball, who's going to come over here and coach this program? What athletes are you going to get? How much money do you have versus the SEC? And this is the other thing about NIL, that it is hard to predict because you don't really get the final numbers on everything like the way you'd want to. But I can almost promise you, even if the SEC isn't that far ahead on money, I promise you they're ahead. And I also can tell you a lot of players are probably willing to take a little bit of a pay cut to
stay in those regions.
We can go play around. Just keep that thing going. You know, they can come in during the winter month and make sure they're getting that work in still. Obviously, there's going to be rules and regulations around it, but if they independently choose to do so, it's all there for them. And that place is just baseball country. So if you're the Big Ten, especially if your players like come to this school early in the season, you're hitting the road, you're playing really, really tough opponents. Then you get into the lull of the Big Ten season. And again, I don't think the Big Ten is great at baseball. So you kind of get used to playing that level of competition. You go through the Big Ten tournament, you make the regionals, and it's just another jump of competition. Now, you credit UCLA for handling it, and USC as they got an opportunity. It doesn't look like they will, but it just feels like the Big Ten always gets washed out when we get to the regionals. And yeah, we'll get a few teams from time to time, but even if they make it, and going back to the point, when was the last time a Big Ten team won the College World Series? If you guys want to text in, I'll give you a ticket T-shirt. Like it's been a long time. You're going to have to Google it because I really doubt anybody knows it off the top of their head. That's where I'm at with Big Ten baseball in Nebraska. So, Will Bolt, you get 3 Big Ten tournaments. You have to
with NIL. I think that the best case possible is that at least might make things a little bit more even, because some of these players at these other universities, that might not be getting as paid as much or might be pissed off and everything like that. You can kind of go in and pluck those players to where, you may not, and you can play it, you can spin it like that. Like it's gonna probably, cost you a little penny, but that might, and I mean, not just Nebraska, all Big Ten teams can kind of, do that and everything like that. And that, I think that or either, JUCO transfers coming in, to kind of get you, more talent available to do that, because Big Ten teams, start the year off fine or they play fine and everything like that. It's never really that. It's the second gear or the third gear of the season, when those SEC teams where they've kind of been calloused and groomed and understand, that type of intensity of stuff. And, as a whole, the Big Ten kind of just, it's a lot. And not to say that, they necessarily can't handle it or anything like that, because, I mean, our best showing wasn't even, this last game. So that's not, I can't really judge it on, okay, us not having the success of the players to do so. I mean, it's just mental, mistakes or small mistakes or a whole bunch of mistakes that kind of get you in that position versus these ACC teams where you don't really see that like that. These SEC teams where you don't really see that like that. So, I mean, it's just, comes down to execution, being in those moments and everything like that. So, I mean, I don't think he's really, really far away from it. But, I mean, he lost a lot of players off the team from last year. And for what he had to win the Big Ten and still, kind of see what happens and whatnot, like, yes, the season end, not how you want it, but from where they were at the end of the Big Ten season or before the Big Ten tournament, they were almost not even in there, turned around and won it.
They almost got knocked out day one versus Michigan State.
So you know what I mean? So it's one of those things, like, yeah, you can't compare yourself to, the juggernauts. Like, you're just not necessarily in that league, and that's just not Nebraska, that's just about everybody in the Big Ten, including, the Oregons, including, the SCs and the Bruins. The Bruins has a chance, but even if they make it, okay, well, that next round is where you really get, a chance to test and really see how you compare up to some of these, elite level universities in the sport.
Yeah, because, like, even if we're going to go back to the old days, those are Pac-12 schools, which are good. You get the few schools out there that can be competitive. But again, it's just like the SEC still really dominates. I think they're a notch up above what used to be the Pac-12 still. Everyone, I'd imagine, agrees with that statement. So UCLA, Oregon, they're probably going to have to really front this Big Ten in terms of baseball. And if you're Nebraska, like, that's where be careful what you wish for, because if you get worse, we just added some much better schools to this in terms of baseball side of things. Obviously, Oregon hosted a regional. No, they did not advance. UCLA didn't get to host, but they did move on to advance to the super regionals. But then again, going back to the example of, like, the Big Ten isn't that good. Iowa was 21-9 in conference play. They didn't even get to go to the regionals, period. Because you look at that conference record and that's what they think about the Big Ten. To go 21-9 in the Big Ten. Yes, they had some easier Big Ten schedule, but it just tells you the bottom of the Big Ten is really not respected at all. So when they get to this voting times, if your overall record for Iowa 33-22, that's what killed them. Because the conference play record, it didn't matter at all to those committees. They wanted to see all the other games outside of the Big Ten, especially with the amount of quad one games they had. So I just think that's where we're at with baseball. Like, the Big Ten itself has to kind of raise itself in order to get better. Otherwise, we can fire coaches year in, year out. I don't know if it'll ever really change anything. To me, like, yeah, we'll probably have some more success with some more than others. But for it to be consistent in the Big Ten, that's always, to me, the biggest challenge. Do you think we ever will see, not just Nebraska, but a Big Ten team create some sort of dynasty in the next, with NIL being legal now, we'll say in the next 10 years?
Creating a dynasty.
Yeah, and when I say dynasty, I don't mean just like making it to the
but I think being I think being at least an elite team to kind of at least make it past regionals and whatnot and get to a super regional. I think so. You have, I think, a few universities in the Big Ten that has the cash flow. Your Michigans. I know Maryland is typically better at baseball. I know it's kind of been up and down and everything like that, but I mean, you're backed by Under Armour. I mean, you really think Kevin Plank, if he really didn't want to cash out some money, Michigan is cashing out money for football. So
yeah, Michigan is one of the Big Ten schools that's had the most success in baseball for that reason.
So I mean, how long before some Michigan alums be like, you know what, we kind of want to run the table in gymnastics, football, basketball, baseball, to like, how long before that necessarily happens? I don't think they're too far from it, but I think, Michigan is definitely capable. You just seen Phil Knight with Oregon. You're telling me that he's not capable? He just cashed out. He just told Oregon football, you have unlimited will at whatever. I mean, and it's Nike. Like, come on now. So
Oregon's the obvious one for me. I could see Oregon being a consistent party member, especially now being in the Big Ten.
Exactly. So, it's. I think, like I said, I think probably those universities at first glance thinking to where if it really becomes a contest and people really want to throw money at something, I think those universities clearly have the easiest. Okay, we need some assistance. Okay, done.
Yeah, and that's all possible now. Like I don't think this is what Michigan did in the past, but their baseball program. I'm not talking about last year, but they've had some years where they do pop off and have a really good team. So if I want to throw a traditional Big Ten school, I'd say us or them. Really, certainly not Ohio State. That's just not an area they care enough about. It shows pretty often with the recruiting in that area. But I think if you're in Nebraska, like the goal is if those guys are going to be represented, like you need to make sure you're part of that group. Like don't just let UCLA, Oregon come here and be the faces of the Big Ten baseball. Like make sure you're the Big Ten champ back-to-back years, even though the record doesn't always indicate it. Like you got to take some pride there. So I do think you keep Will Bolt. Obviously down the road, things may change. I might change my opinion. Right now, I think it's too much of a knee-jerk decision because we talked about, DeMornay, Pierson-El, go through all the other scores. If you're pissed off about Nebraska losing 17, giving up 17 runs to Oklahoma and only getting one, there's a lot of really bad scores out there. And some of those teams had ranked numbers behind them that got blown out. So it's not just Nebraska exclusive. It sucks a little bit more because it's a rival. But at the same time, we're not the only ones that got routed. We'll throw it to break. We'll talk about Nebraska football, a 7-on-7 opportunity, and opportunity for the fans to go out there as well. So don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and warm with an afternoon high near 92. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely, a low around 59. And tomorrow, showers continuing throughout the day. Will be breezy and cool with a high just 62. I'm meteorologist Kyle Becker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday morning now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour. Here's the rental ones and twos. We got DeMornay Pierson-El. Host is always streaming, and you guys can always join in via the Sarton Heyman text line or any of these streams. We're going to talk some Husker football here. In particular, we got a 7-on-7 camp this weekend. I believe it is, this football camp next Friday. Battle of the Boneyard comes to Memorial Stadium. So not this weekend, next Friday following this one. 7-on-7 camp. It is also free to the public. First 500 people show up. They will also get some gear. Looks like they'll get t-shirts and then a Gatorade and a free hot dog. So, DeMornay Pierson-El, you're going to show up on next week, Friday, potentially to see some talent.
I might. That sounds fun and interesting. I'm sure I can make it work.
Seems cool. I am super curious about it. I'm going to try to get down there. I don't think I'll be, getting a free hot dog and a Gatorade. It'd be cool to get in one, but I think there's probably going to be a lot of people there. I encourage all fans to go out there. What a great recruiting tool. I mean, this is
just a like a 7-on. This is for like high school players that they'll bring in and kind of see and evaluate type situation.
Yeah, so I think it's just high schoolers. I might, there might be some guys mixed in there. I think it's just mainly high schoolers, though. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to do it, but it's open to the public. And as far as the athletes, like they got a ton of 7-on-7 teams in there already that do have their squads and everything. So I think all those are set in stone and I think it's pretty much just all high school athletes. I could be a little bit wrong on that. I haven't gone through all the team rosters, but yeah, focus on the high school athletes for obvious reasons. And then, it's just going to be a lot of the best talent. Not all, coming here for official visit or anything like that, but they're going to get a chance to see Nebraska. How full do you expect it to be? It's kind of my next question because it sounds cool. Open to the public. It's free. Doesn't cost anything to get in there, and you get to go watch.
I wouldn't say pretty full. I would probably say maybe a little bit bigger than probably the high school championship. So I mean that's a decent crowd. Again, I mean it's not the actual college team. Like it's high schoolers that are being evaluated and whatnot. That people are being more interested in seeing the athletes around. I'm anxious to see the athletes going to be coaching and holding up plays, or is it just straight evaluation? Again, I mean it's an opportunity for kids to show off their skills and kind of get out there in front of the coaches and kind of show them what they can do. So I don't expect anything crazy. I don't think it's going to be like the spring game or in the past or anything like that.
It might be closer to the spring game
Of this year.
Yeah,
the spring game this year. Yeah, not in the ones past. No.
I think we were like anywhere between 40,000 for like spring games, 40, 60, I want to say, or maybe I'm overshooting it. Maybe it was closer to 20.
Before this year.
Let me look it up. 60,
typically the spring game was like 60 or 70K. Like it was a lot.
Really consistent. 2024, 66,000. 2023, around 60,000. 2022, 61. So yeah, it's been pretty consistently there. Obviously, COVID really hurt this.
Yeah.
COVID, obviously for obvious reasons, 36,000 fans due to COVID restrictions. Before that, 85,000 people.
I'm trying to tell. That's what I said. Outside of this year, the spring game was like an actual game for the first like 15, 20 minutes of at least the first 15 to 30 plays. And then after that, it kind of was like, all right, that's it.
That's a real bummer. Yeah, and obviously after COVID. So you went from 85,000, 86,000 Scott Frost year one for obvious reasons. 36 COVID, 60, 66 coming back from COVID. 8,000 to 9,000 2025 is where they're at. To go from 85,000 people there, I'll round it up, 85,900. So it's basically, you got 86,000 people there for 2 years in COVID, and then you're still getting about 65,000 down to 8,000. This is where we go back to the Husker games and how initially I kind of liked the idea. Now it's like looking at these numbers, it's hard to swallow and say this is the idea.
That spring game was also like a recruiting tool. Like you forget how many athletes come to watch the spring game. And it's like, one of the things they used to say, it's like, okay, this is just a practice and check out the environment. You can't imagine or just imagine, a game. And, let's just say, your official visit was the Colorado game. Like, you know what I mean? So the atmosphere of things and whatnot, like, so now that kind of will be taken away because you won't really get a chance or feel, for things and whatnot. And especially, what if some of those kids are committed to other universities and they're not taking, their official visits. So they might not see the game day atmosphere. At least going to a spring game, at least our spring game, what it used to be, it would at least, sway people's mind and get them thinking a little bit differently. So it's going to be interesting to see how, that evolves going forward.
Yeah, it's, I'll be crow on it. I think if I could, I'd take back my words. You might have to just trust your recruiting's better than the money bags that get thrown after them. A few players that do. I mean, you might really have to take pride in your own school, knowing that there is a chance it still may happen.
Protect your investment. I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah, I get it.
I get what you're saying, but I mean, throw enough money at an 18-year-old, or a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, some decisions will be made outside of that. You know what I mean? I completely expect, people dangle, enough money out of the situation. You can sway, some pretty good talent to possibly leave. And that's just not here. That's anywhere.
What I wish they could do, and I don't think they ever would, was just do it non-televised. Open to the fans, no cameras. It'd be hard to do, right? But it'd help a little bit as to keeping some of those people away. Yeah, there's a chance you get some Connor Stallions that go to it anyways, that are just in there scouting. I don't know if you could pull that off, but like if you wanted to do it so you could still keep that traditional eye for the fans, being like, it's just not aired on TV, no cameras, no cell phones, not aired anywhere. Obviously the phone part would probably be impossible to enforce.
I mean, I think it might get to like a 7-on-7 type situation.
It feels like,
I mean, next year, whatever they decide with the 105, whenever that decision comes, like you're not going to have the kids that need an opportunity to find a home somewhere else. So, for instance, next year, what are you going to do? Are you just going to have a competition? I mean, your best bet is to have your current athletes, race everyday students. Give scholarships away or whatever, or free. Like, you're going to have to come up with different things to get people to come out and feel like they have a chance to do stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's the way you lean into it, is you just somehow make it more interactive for the fans. Because I get what they're trying to do with the Husker games, like provide some entertainment. The entertainment just wasn't very good. It was kind of fun at times, but like really disappointed with the lassoing. I think to me that was when they just came out like riding on him. I was like, all right, I get it, but I don't think this is fun for really anybody to watch. Like, it's kind of silly, wears off in about 10 seconds. Once you see the first guy do it, you're like, okay, we're kind of over it now. So I give him credit for trying, but yeah,
okay, who's more accurate? You got 4 fans versus the first and second string quarterback. So you got combined scores with those guys, and kind of make it a little bit unfavorable. All 4 of their scores can be combined for something versus 2 athletes. Just something different to where people are gonna. Oh, okay, I feel like I could do that until you really go out there and it ain't what you think it is.
That's why I think it's a good way to do it, right? And I don't know, how the scholarship thing work out, but even if you can't go down that road, like, we got a lot of gear. A lot of people really love that gear. If you don't believe me, go look.
You could come to practice, a couple times a year. You can have
walk
that.
Through the tunnel, on your own.
You can walk out the tunnel with 2 of the home games. At 2 of the home games for student athletes, and don't just do guys. Do girls too. Making that, doing that or whatnot. You can have a 7-on-7 team, or play 7-on-7 with some of the Husker players, whatever. You can go out there, draw plays up, and let the guys let at least people feel involved of it. So it's going to be, like I said, interesting to see what the spring game is going to be next year, because that element of we're giving people a chance is going to be gone.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get back to 85,000 if we ever even just bring it back. But we got it better than the 8 to 9, because that one hurts to look at, especially when you remember the tradition and pride that was the spring game. Like, that was just kind of a sign to the world. It's like, we love football more than anyone else. Here's the proof. 8 to 9,000 doesn't really say that, and also because they're not out there watching football, so I can't even blame the 8 to 9,000 or the everybody else who didn't show up because they wanted to watch football. I get it. And there were some other schools that still had their spring game. So I'd love to know Matt Rule's, like, what he saw, because there's definitely some situations that pushed him to that. I don't think he was just pure speculation here. So maybe if I knew some of the behind the scenes stuff, which players are actually getting engaged, might push me even harder to protect the assets. But where I'm at right now, it is just tough to swallow. We'll throw it to break. We did get the college football Hall of Fame ballot for 2026 released. Names on there. One of them's a Husker. You can probably take a wild swing as to which one's on there. We'll talk about that next. Who do we think should get in? Don't go anywhere. Don't punt the hour to Marty Pierson-El. We'll talk to you in a bit.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and warm with an afternoon high near 92. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely, a low around 59. And tomorrow, showers continuing throughout the day. Will be breezy and cool with the high just 62. The meteorologist Kyle Fletcher from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. A final segment of the Don't Punt Hour. Like I said, we did get the drop of the College Football Hall of Fame. They have released the 2026 ballot. Some names on there. One that is obviously going to be, I think, a no-brainer, especially since he got robbed of a Heisman. We'll just start off with that one since that is the obvious one. Good morning, Pierson-El.
He's in.
Yes, he's in. There's no question there.
He's in.
All right, enough said there. We don't even have to talk about it. Everybody knows the stats. You can put his single season stats along with the best defensive lines in the country, and his stats match up with those of the likes of Alabama and like
Texas.
Enough said. He was single-handedly an entire stat line for the best defensive lines across the country that year.
Best defense. Not his stat line was up there with the top 5 defenses in college football. That's dominant.
No question. Indiana QB, this one not so sure about. Antoine Randall, he did, it was I think of like 99. Obviously I wasn't alive. I just go through, look at his stats, find some of his numbers. He couldn't move the needle for Indiana football. You might know a little bit more on his legacy. Thoughts on him? Again, he was.
Who are the other quarterbacks in that category? Like,
What's that?
Are there any other quarterbacks that?
Well, let's read them. Auburn, Cam Newton, for obvious reasons.
Antoine Randall, no.
Okay.
Sorry, no.
Boise State QB, Kellen Moore is in there. This is loaded, by the way.
That's tough. That's tough.
This is a tough one. So those are the QBs. You got Indiana, Antoine Randall, Cam Newton, Kellen Moore. Obviously Indiana's out for me. And then you're between Cam Newton and Kellen Moore.
Cam's in there.
Yeah.
Like it ain't close for a year. Now the only thing that might hurt Cam is that Kellen Moore was at Boise for a long period of time. I definitely think Kellen deserves to be in there, depending on how they look at it. If they look at it career-wise and stats and everything like that, I think Kellen probably beats out Cam. But you can't name. It's hard to say who had a better, college for just year. Like who had a better year than Cam Newton in college football. Like there might be 2 or 3 other names that you can mention that is debatable.
Yeah, and then you're going with the consistency, which is also fair. You want to go towards more with Boise State. So both of those guys to me, yeah, that's a good class. We'll keep moving on here. We'll get the kicker out of the way. Sebastian Janikowski, FSU. Alabama running back Mark Ingram. I think so. I mean, whether you like him as he won the Heisman, whether you like him as the Heisman winner or not. I think.
Who's the other running backs?
You got Penn State, Carter. Keydon Carter, and then Colorado, Eric Bieniemy. That is all the running backs.
I think he'll get in. National champion, Heisman winner. The accolades kind of do for itself. Mark Ingram was a bona fide running back. Bieniemy was nice in college too. You can't not overlook that. I think it would be for sure between those two.
I think so as well. All right, let's go to defensive end. Only one on the list. He's in. Aaron Donald.
In.
Okay.
In.
Percy Harvin, Florida.
In.
Syracuse, Marvin Harrison. Ohio State, Syracuse. They're going for this first school, obviously, they commit to.
I'm taking Percy, and it ain't close.
Okay, fair enough. I just think, yeah.
And I'm kind of biased because Percy Harvin is one of my favorite athletes. So, yeah, what he did at Florida, he was Tavon Austin before Tavon Austin was Tavon Austin. He was electric. I don't care that Florida team had a bunch of athletes, a bunch of first-round players and everything like that, and he was the best athlete on that team. And also Cam Newton was on that team, and he still was the best athlete. So Percy's in.
All right. I like it. Real quick here. We don't have a ton of time here. I'll just go through. There's coaches on there as well, but the one list Tommy Tuberville is on there. I don't know why. What are your thoughts on Tommy Tuberville? I looked at his record. It's not bad. He had some success early back in the day. I don't think he won the Peach Bowl or Citrus Bowl. I think he lost in both of those. I don't know why he's on that list.
Just because you on there don't mean you're gonna get in.
True. Maybe he just had to go there.
That's about as good as
Tommy Tuberville running for Senate right now? For senator? What? I have to do some research on Tommy Tuberville. I got a couple of them. Okay, yeah.
DB, who's the DBs? Who's the linebackers? Safeties?
Okay, sorry. I got distracted there. So I guess Tuberville, I didn't even realize he's on the Senate right now. Need to pay more attention to politics. But yeah, obviously his tenure, I think the biggest one for him is Auburn. You go through the glory days of Auburn, that's where his success stories comes from. If I was a little bit, older at that age and was super locked into it, maybe I'd understand it more. And that's why with Tommy Tuberville, other coaches on there, I'll quick give them to you, and then we'll get out of here for the sake of getting out of this hour. If I can find my list that I just lost, unfortunately. I know Chris Peterson was on there as well. Is there any coaches I should say, because we are out of time?
Saban, I don't. He needs to be on there. Forget waiting 5 or 7, whatever the years is. Put Saban in there.
I agree. He's not on the ballot this year, but he will be certainly down the road.
Oh, he's unanimous. Like but you can't get him in there. The quickest you can get him in there is too slow.
I agree. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. There's you run into those coaches and players that you're just waiting for them to be on the ballot so you can put them in. Like Stu's one of those guys. Saban's one of those guys. No, he's not on this ballot, but he will be. Also, I should point out, like if you're waiting for the name Mike Leach, they did lower the overall record you need to
so
have.
he can get in.
But it's not until 27, I believe. So if you're surprised, like why did they lower it just for him not to be there? 27.
He'll be up soon.
Absolutely. We'll talk about more about the coaches tomorrow, and we'll go through that in more depth. But that's going to wrap up the Don't Punt Hour. Don't go anywhere. Me and Jackson will hold it down for another hour, and then we'll run some replays for you guys to get through Tick Weeknights. Tomorrow, Pierson-El. Appreciate it as always. We'll do it again tomorrow.